This 2-ton tank cannot see you standing 5 meters away. Hundreds of parasites are drinking his blood right now, and tonight hyenas will hunt him in the dark. His only defense, birds. Look at what a body he cannot groom collects. Ticks packed behind his legs, flies swarming his eyes, botfly wounds hidden. So the birds do it for him. Down from his back they hop, straight into the folds his horn will never reach, and the crunching begins. One bird climbs to his head and vanishes into his torn ear, cleaning the warm canal inside, while the great bull holds still as a boulder and lets it happen. But science discovered these birds give him something far greater than cleaning. His eyes fail at 5 meters. Theirs see everything. The Swahili name says it all. Askari wa Kifaru, the rhino's guard. And the radar earns its keep within the hour. The birds stiffen, hiss, and rattle out their alarm. Something big is coming through the thorn bush, something he cannot see. A young bull, strong and hungry for territory, and the old king can barely see him coming. But he does not need to. The bird's alarm has given him bearing and distance. His ears have done the rest, and when the challenger charges, 2 tons of experience are already braced and waiting. Horn meets horn with a crack that echoes off the hills. Forced off balance, the young bull stumbles, and the old king drives forward into his exposed shoulder, shoving him backwards through the thorn bush the way a bulldozer clears a fence. It is enough. The challenger breaks, wheels, and crashes away into the bush, and the old bull stands in the settling dust, chest-heaving king for one more season. And before the dust has even settled, his medics are back on the job. The oxpeckers return from the sky they fled to, land on the fresh scrape, and begin cleaning it with surgical little bites, stripping away damaged skin, keeping the wound clear of flies and infection. On the savannah, victory only counts if the wounds stay clean. With the wound tended, the full service resumes. Down the deep folds of his neck, along the creases of his belly, into the pockets behind every leg, the birds move through his armor like inspectors through a fortress. And every few seconds, another crunch marks another parasite that will never drink rhino blood again. Midday heat drives him to the wallow, and the mud does what mud has always done for giants. Cools the blood, coats the armor, smothers the stragglers the birds missed. The oxpeckers ride the island of his back across the pool, feet dry, waiting for the tide of mud to deliver their next course. An hour later, the sun has baked the mud to grey plates, and he grinds them off against his favorite rubbing stone, polished smooth by generations of rhinos before him. The crust cracks away, carrying suffocated ticks with it, and the birds drop to the ground to collect the fallen, turning his skincare into their buffet. In 2020, scientists finally measured what the Swahili name always claimed. Rhinos carrying oxpeckers detected an approaching human in almost every trial. Rhinos without birds missed them more than half the time. The birds bought their hosts extra distance, extra seconds, extra lives. For a species hunted to the edge for its horn, the little guard on his back is not a passenger, he is armor. The afternoon service reaches the delicate places. One bird picks the flies from the corners of his failing eyes, gentle as a nurse with a bandage. Another cleans along his pointed lip, the finger-like tool he browses with, plucking thorns, leavings, and hidden ticks from the softest skin he owns. He could crush a lion. He stands like a lamb. The sun drops, and the old bull makes for his sleeping thicket, a fortress of thorn he has used for years. The birds ride him all the way to bed, because here is the secret almost nobody knows. Oxpeckers often spend the night on their rhino, roosting on the living radiator of his back, on duty even in their sleep. And tonight, that duty will matter. Deep in the night, shapes begin to move at the edge of the thicket. A hyena clan, 7 strong, drawn by the scent of the day's wound. A sleeping rhino is the only rhino they would ever dare test, and they slide through the dark toward the thorn fortress, giggling their hunting whispers, closing from 3 sides at once. The old bull sleeps on. His eyes were never going to save him anyway. And then the night explodes. The roosting oxpeckers detonate off his back in a shrieking, hissing storm, screaming the rattling alarm that 50 million years have written into rhino nerves. The old bull is on his feet before his eyes are even open, 2 tons from flat to fighting stance in under 2 seconds, wheeling toward the sound of the nearest set of giggling jaws. The boldest hyena tests him anyway, darting for his flank, and meets a spinning wall of thorn that catches it across the ribs and hurls it yelping through the thorn. The old bull charges the next shape and the next, turning on a coin for an animal his size, and the clan's nerve snaps. 7 hunters melt back into the night they came from. The blind king stands alone in his fortress, untouched. In the quiet that follows, the little guards drift back down through the moonlight, one by one, and settle again on the back that just saved itself on their word. The old bull rumbles once, low and long, and whether or not science lets us call it thanks, the birds answer with soft chirps, and the fortress breathes together again. Dawn finds the usual toll collected at the gates, fresh ticks up from the grass, flies waking with the warmth, dust of the night packed into every crease, and the day shift clocks in before the sun clears the hills. The first crunch of the morning is the sound of the whole system still working. The full morning service rolls through the fortress, fold by fold, the neck creases cleared, the belly line stripped, the healing scrape re-cleaned and guarded, the ear canals swept. The old king stands in the gold light with his eyes closed and his great head hanging heavy, and for a little while the most hunted animal on earth is simply, completely at peace. And across the whole waking savannah, the same guards are reporting for the same duty. On the buffalo and the giraffe, the zebra and the warthog, the little brown birds ride their giants into the day, eating their fill and earning it in warnings. No fortress out here stands without its watchman. It never has. By mid-morning, the audit is complete. The night's ticks, gone. The wound, clean and closing. The flies, scattered from his eyes. The last bird makes a final pass down the old scar on his shoulder, finds one last stubborn passenger, and ends it with the day's most satisfying crunch. Under the armor, for a few perfect hours, there is nothing left but Rhino. We remember the horn crack of the duel, the hyenas scattering in the moonlight, 2 tons rising from sleep in a heartbeat. But the truth of his long reign is smaller than any of it. It is a hissing rattle in the dark, 1 second before jaws found flesh. It is a bird asleep on a warm grey back, half listening always. Blind kings do not survive alone. They hire eyes. Fewer than 7,000 black rhinos remain on Earth, and every single one of them walks with these birds. So the next time you see a photograph of a rhino, look past the horns and find the small brown shapes on that armored back. You are looking at the oldest security contract in Africa, still honored every day on both sides. A nearly blind giant who beat a rival at dawn, and 7 hyenas at midnight, all on the word of birds that weigh less than his eyelid. That is the real armor of the rhino. If a story like this amazed you, subscribe to Nature's Cleaners, and we will keep uncovering the hidden partnerships that hold the wild together. Tonight the hyenas will try someone else, and the ticks will climb someone else, and on a grey armored back under the stars, a small bird will sleep with one eye open. One more blind king kept on his throne by the sharpest eyes on the savannah. Thank you for watching. We will see you at the next Hidden Alliance.